I think what we get it wrong as Nigerians is we like to look at the big picture and we miss out on the small picture. So we are looking at it as people who entered Senate and governor and president is the reason or the reasons why Nigeria is bad. When in reality, the people who just even enter civil service, where the places we are not looking at, the people who become local government chairmen,
we are looking
are the reasons why the structure in itself
is faulty
over time. That's why we have more civil service. In 2026, we don't have people that respond to emails.
I think Lagos State, I would say that's in their favor. They've done a lot of that concerning their civil servants.
Lagos is just one of 36 states.
I understand.
A leader cannot properly function if he doesn't have the right team. No matter how much he tries to change, they're not going to let it work. They're going to find little ways to frustrate the effort along the way.
You're very correct.
And
Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast from X and Z with Love, your resident mother-daughter duo, bringing you the best of both worlds. We x-ray different topics from generational perspectives. Chen, how are you today?
Hello. How am I today? I'm feeling bubbly. I'm feeling energetic. I'm feeling a little restless. Could be a function of the guest we have in the studio today, but I'm feeling very good.
Yes. We have another guest in the house. Chen, introduce our guests.
Introducing. Dum. So the person we have in the studio with us today, you may know him from his arrest, a rather popular arrest back in the day. During the EndSARS protest, he played a key role protesting for the rights of the youth. He runs an organization called Adene, which raises political awareness and invests a lot in nation building and community development. He is a civic advocate and activist, and he goes by the name Eromz Adene. We can call him Eromz, Sha. Welcome.
For short. Welcome to our podcast.
Did I miss anything? I feel like, he's also like one of UNDP's like faces and finest. Like, there's so many things. Faces, the finest, not finest physically. You rest. You rest.
I mean, it's true.
Like finest in terms of character and like personality, like the finer people.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Welcome. So what we're getting in the studio today is Gen X, Gen Z, and
no, you are Gen X.
I'm Gen X
Gen
now.
Z. He's a
Gen Y. I'm a millennial.
Are you okay? Yeah, no, he's actually a proper millennial. He's not a zillennial. He's not on the edge.
No, I'm not in the edge.
This is an elderly man. Let's
okay, so that's the energy we are getting on the podcast today. Anyway, let me ask briefly about how our week went, as usual. So, high and lows of your week before we get to the topic of the day.
My week has been interesting. I got involved. I keep saying, I found God, but it's not like I just found God. I just got more involved in church work, which is a new thing for me. I've never served in church before.
Your mother has always been.
Yeah, but my parents have always been like the deaconesses and the pastors. I've never been. Okay, maybe when I was younger, I was in the choir. When I was really young, I was the youngest person in the choir. But I've never been.
And your father was a choir master.
Yeah. Oh no, that year I was a soft baby. Everybody be in children's church. When choir is about to minister, they're not come and call me out from the children's church. I'm like, guys, I need to go minister, guys. It's not easy.
Imagine what times feels like. I beg, make me hear one.
No, but yeah, that's the best I've done when it comes to serving in church. I've always wanted to though, just never really had the time. So I had the opportunity to serve recently, and it's really been amazing. Honestly, I've loved it. It has its own challenges, like every group of people, do, but it's been really fun and demanding. So that took up a bunch of my week because you think you've done office work. Let me go home and rest. They're calling me, we have a meeting. We have a meeting in 10 minutes, please. Won't take up too much of your time. 2 hours has gone. We won't take up too much of your time. So there was even one of the calls I was dozing off. I said, God, please forgive me. Is your work we're doing? I was so tired. So, has been like a high of my week that I got involved in that, and I've been seeing the results and impact of the work I've been doing at church, and it's been really great. So I'm really happy about that. Lows of the week. Lows of the week. What are the lows of the week? There was one rain that fell. You guys, I woke up in the morning and it was raining, and I thought about it deeply. Can I make it to work today? It was a very real question, but I was like, you know what? One of my bosses wanted to set up a meeting, and I thought it'd be physical. So I was like, I don't want them to be looking for me. So I said, okay, I'll go to work. My mother now started calling. As we got to the estate gate, Mom was like, you cannot move in this rain. The visibility is low.
I don't have 20 children.
Come back home. You can't drive. Hey. And it was my brother and I were going to go to work together. She was calling everybody's phone. Come back.
I have only 3 children.
Because of small rain. Mommy said, don't worry. And we're like, we have to go to work. You know, we have meetings. She's like, I'll Uber you people later. We have mouths. They don't have any mouths to feed. I told her to come back home. I have mouths to feed.
I'll work online. I mean, that's the advantage.
She was like, work online. I said, I have a physical. She said, I will pay for the Uber. I said, Uber is expensive. She said, I will pay. Just come back. Come back.
With my 3 children.
So your mom basically doesn't trust you driving?
In the rain and with like low visibility and everything, she was like, guys, come back. Even if even the Uber, she wasn't saying that we should order an Uber at that moment. She said we should come back and wait till the rain subsides.
No,
for the Uber to come. She was like, come back. It was so dramatic.
Did you see my WhatsApp status? What I did when I traveled?
You drove, he entered bike under the rain.
Wow.
Somebody, he says go to make social impact. Your mother should actually catch you on the name of Nation Building under the rain. The bike, at a point, a trailer came, the bike man.
Wow.
They nearly fell on the bike and he was still recording.
Okay, so let's now go to Eromz. Your week.
Actually,
your highs and lows of your week.
My week is always high. If I'm actually being sincere, it's very energetic. Like she mentioned, I just came back from a work trip and I just came straight here. It's been great. It's been great, you know, getting to interact with a lot of people as always and establishing new connections. I think the low would be that I also serve in church.
Let me report you people. The community, the team I work with in church, you know, I say I'm not a church worker normally. They created a team. They said, Eromz Adene, as the king of social impact, he will be the lead of the team. Before they've even crowned, giving him the scepter of authority. I'm saying, so you know you're joining this team? I said, so I know. Do I really know? He said, yeah. We'll have meeting this evening. The other team members, bam. I found myself on group chat. They say I'm part of the team. I said, really? Okay.
I think the low is I just wasn't available for.
Oh, was it really a low? Was it really a low?
Because I really wanted to experience
one of the most stressful programs we had.
I wanted to stress how much possible.
8-hour program. The day before, he's like, sorry guys, I'm not available. So, but this person is going to be in charge. Good luck. I'm like, what does he mean by that?
I trust you guys now. I trust
it's
you guys.
It's not a function of trust. It's a function if we're in the mud, you have to be in the mud with us.
I got you. I was in the mud in another state with you.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
That's a low.
How was your week?
Yeah,
my week. Okay, you know, I have God in my corner.
Is it that we have Satan?
You are your own in this matter. And so the lines are always falling upon me pleasantly, but you know the way NEPA has been, it's been horrible, you know. And I just look at the average man that cannot afford solar generator. I don't want to think about their plight.
The power situation
it's been horrible. Crazy, and that has been a low. It just makes me think again. Which way Nigeria? Which brings me to our podcast topic of today.
3,
drum rolls.
1.
Join us, guys. This is our yes. Because we are not involved. We want to talk about politics. We are heading for another election year very soon, and you know, I look back at a lot of political adverts, the MKO one, which was very beautiful back in the days. And the same issue. No light, no water, no food, no... Now it's times 1,000. And I'm like, we're going to the polls again very soon. Are we going to actually take decisions that would move this nation forward? Are we going to put leaders that would help us get to where we want to go to? And how do we even really navigate our way to that place? And how did we even get to where we're... when they say we got independence, we're expecting that independence from the colonial masters. Somebody has suggested that should we not go back and beg these colonial masters
to help take us back.
So that at least, because the railway quarters they built in Yaba, I think, is that Yaba now?
Yeah, Yaba side.
Yeah, Yaba. They're still there. They're still existing there. Dilapidated, but those are the buildings. Some people are still living there. The structures they put in place. I know there's a lot of infrastructure. So we're looking at it that, excuse me, should we go back and beg these guys that, please?
No, but I mean, in the UK, they're going through a lot as well. So is it really...
But excuse me, they have structure. There's nowhere in the world that things are not happening because the devil is on rampage. Trust me. But our own is peculiar. In lots of these countries, they don't have the kind of resources we have. Nigeria has resources. We have resources. And we have men. Men mount. Women self-mount. What are we doing with these mounted men and women? What is the problem that we are not... See, outputs and the equation is not balancing in short. Yeah. So we want to do an extra. We want to look at it so that as our bridge will now be, what's the way forward going towards this election? Yeah. What should we do?
Yeah.
So I want to look at it from just the very beginning. There has been chaos from the beginning. The era of the Awolowos and the Akintolas, there was war.
Yeah, so my question or my thought towards this is, in your time, what was so different about the politics then? Because I don't think there's anything we're going to say we want to do now that you people have not done. Or is it that you people didn't do it? Where was the failing on your part?
I think that if I want to look at it from my perspective, my father is a politician. If I want to look at it from that perspective, my own experiences, I would say, okay, so we heard about the Akintolas, the Awolowos, the Wete era. That was violence. So the political era, republic in Nigeria, started with violence. It was never civil. I think maybe that has now gone over the years and increased.
Really?
Yes. Let me tell you, the best election Nigeria has ever had was MKO Abiola election. Before I get there, so we had the era of 79. Mm-hmm. After the Mazikwe and Co, we had 79. My father was in the military. He resigned. He was working with the late Yadra, the first one, not the president. That was his direct boss. He was working with him. He resigned and joined MPN. And we are from Ondo State. Of course, if you know anything, Ondo State was UPN. So it was chaos. He was in the opposition. I remember Shagari coming to our place for meetings, the one that became president. And I remember my father having to leave the house. Of course, as a military man, he was a major during the war, so he understood strategy. So he couldn't stay in the house because he were in danger house. They were burning down houses. It was horrible in Ondo State. 79 elections. It was horrible. It was like a do or die affair. Now I'm wondering, when you are supposed to serve your nation, when did it become do or die? My other experiences, so that era was chaotic. My father was not in the house. We had thugs surrounding our compound, guarding the whole household. My father was moving from location to location so that they don't burn him alive, and all of that happened that era. It was that crazy. I now witnessed the Abiola era, which was the best election that has happened in Nigeria. But unfortunately, it was still tainted. The man was killed. That day of that election, we were all in the house. And after a while, I was in my auntie's house in Bagada. After a while, we didn't hear anything, we were trying to listen to the news. Back then, we didn't have this kind of communication gadgets. There was always a business center where everybody would go and get information and all. So there was one popular business center in that Bagada area. So we all wanted to head there. My auntie said, no, don't go out. Myself and my late sister were at her place. She said, don't go out of the house. There was one woman that lived in that owned that business center. Her only son left the house. That's maybe around 4-ish, 5. Left the house to go to that business center to find out what was going on. He was shot because some military guys drove past randomly. I don't know what happened. They just shot at random. And that was the only son of that woman. He was killed. And the one was left and he was about to go and do his youth service. So those have been my kind of experiences with politics and a lot of others over the years. And if you know anything, you know, I just got my voter's card this year because I just developed apathy for politics, Nigerian politics. A lot of people in your generation which is where a lot of people in my generation are. So, but where has that brought us? Where it has brought us is the person that did not pass school SAT that is now ruling at the government. I don't think, what's the criteria for becoming a governor? So I think it's still school SAT or something like that, which is crazy. I think it's just too low for the quality of people we have in Nigeria. And we have people. So if you are telling me somebody so we cannot imagine that it is those kind of people that are now controlling things. So why are we surprised that we are where we are?
Because the upper and middle class decided to take a position of apathy just to cover their heads.
Yes.
And so the people at the bottom then rose to the top.
Because I don't want to go to my mother was involved in politics in Ibadan. And when Yarada got to Ibadan, she was one that introduced him to Adedibu. He took him to Molete and said, Baba, this is the man, you know. So I understand politics. Even at that level, I have seen at world elections where people that are standing, somebody will just come and bring money and everybody queuing behind you. You know, those days they will queue behind you. So everybody just move like this. It will do you like Mirage. Everybody just move from your back because somebody has come to give them envelopes.
Money on the line.
So, and we are criticizing rice and whatever. The people are so poor that they live on daily stipends. So if somebody comes to give them 5K or rice that they will eat for that day, that's what they're thinking about. So let me ask our guests. This is my own experience. This is how I got to where I got to. And then where do we go from here?
So before he goes, I want to say that for their generation now, because I think I'd like to believe that people from our generation are not as apathetic as they are, but we can't rely on just the youth. And a lot of times the barrier of the youths being politically involved is their parents and this generation. So with all these experiences that they've had, how do they move from there to being involved? Like, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. But yeah, go ahead.
Both of you have spoken well. My panel of speakers. Co-debaters. Well,
what's his own experience?
You're both correct about the voter apathy, especially with the boomers generation. It's not just Nigeria, sadly, that has experienced the boomers voter apathy that then led the country to, for example, the boomers enjoyed a lot of things during their time. They enjoyed free education. They enjoyed free lunch while in school. They enjoyed opportunities to travel abroad when Naira was $1 or even $1.2 at a time. So they were very comfortable and they assumed Nigeria would remain like that. So when it was time to join the police, join the army, join politics, they didn't see the need to. Now, those people who were not qualified enough to travel abroad because they didn't have the mind for it, they didn't have the capacity for it. They, during mommy's time, when you're graduating, some companies would be there at your graduation party to give people jobs.
Yes.
So those people that didn't get jobs, they didn't have a choice. They have to feed. So they went into politics. They joined the police force. They joined the army. Right? And we started to see the negative sides immediately. It didn't take 10 years. We started to see it immediately. However, an average Nigerian is a very selfish Nigerian. Once I'm fine, I really don't care.
True that.
Right. You see back then, Olokpa, I think Olokpa was because they were holding sticks, or they called them Olokpa. There was already police brutality. Right. With the right leadership, you wouldn't have moved them from sticks to guns until you solve the police brutality. So these are things that have been in the system for a very long time. Very long time. We are probably just beginning to realize how bad it is because of social media. Where you can wake up and see what's done in Delta State, like that thing that happened in Delta State recently, and then you're seeing other things, right? And it's also crazy because sometimes our education is our kryptonite, because if a policeman tries certain things in the north, it's gonna pay for it right there. So they know what's not to do in the north. But over here, where we are educated, and every Nigerian is, if you can see police harassing somebody right in our front, and we keep moving because it's not us, right? So, time has come where we need to correct that. As a person, if my friends tell me they're traveling abroad, I support them, right? If I need to financially come through, if I can, I will. And I've done that a couple of times from some of my friends. But I always tell them, let it be that you're going to come back. Let it be that you're going to get education, to get experience, to make money, to come back. Because if they don't come back, the people who cannot, our children will suffer this thing. The people who cannot afford to travel will join politics.
Which is what is happening, which is what has been happening. So you see that the people at the bottom of the pyramid, so to speak, are the ones that are now ruling on the political platforms. And then the people that, maybe the people that have been in politics forever, 80 years, 60 years since Nigeria's independence, they now bring their children and put them. Now, these children have not gone through the Nigerian system a lot of times.
They don't have the authentic Nigerian experience.
So you now bring that person, because he has a father in position, and put him in the Senate, and put him in a very key position where he's supposed to be the voice of the people. Now, can he be the voice of the people that he has not, he cannot feel that, he cannot empathize with?
I think where we get it wrong as Nigerians is we like to look at the big picture, and we miss out on the small picture. I'm going to give a very simple illustration. So for those of you watching, of course, there are people in the studio who are helping. Now, let's imagine one of the people in the studio is a very tall guy. And he's very tall, he's strong, right? He's big and strong and healthy. I look at him and I just use my leg to tap he's standing, right? To tap maybe his knee. And I'm just tapping it small. He wouldn't feel any pain compared to if I was to use a lot of force at once. However, if I keep doing that for 1 hour, 2 hours, will he start to feel pain?
Yes, definitely.
Eventually, he won't be able to stand. So we are looking at it as people who entered Senate and governor and president is the reason, or the reasons why Nigeria is bad. When in reality, the people who just even enter civil service, where the places we are not looking at, the people who become local government chairmen,
we are looking
are the reasons why the structure in itself
is faulty.
Over time. It's just little kicks here and there. The woman that is eating amala, instead of attending to people when she should be attending to people, the one that is thinking of ajo and doing ajo instead of her to be picking a phone call. That's why we have most civil service across the country in 2026, almost 2027. We don't have people that respond to emails. We don't have people that respond to it. We don't even have websites for most of them.
I think Lagos State, I would say that in their favor. They've done a lot of that concerning their civil servants.
Lagos is just one of 36 states.
I understand.
But the point I'm trying to make is we have to start getting involved, right? And it's good that we look at the presidency, we look at the Senate, we look at the governors. But we must also look at all these other places that are not so attractive.
True that.
Because, like they say, little drops of water makes the mighty ocean. So if there are no drops of water, there will be no ocean.
It's also, to add to that, I think it's a thing of a leader cannot properly function if he doesn't have the right team. So if we have a good president, right? If we pick a president, amazing guy, and every single person that works in his offices, right, are just corrupt, bottom of the barrel people. No matter how much he tries to change, and yeah, he has lots of power, he can veto a lot of things. These are people that don't believe in the cause. They think the change you're bringing is even going to harm them. They're not going to let it work. They're going to find little ways to frustrate the effort along the way.
You're very correct.
And so, if we only focus on certain key positions, even if we get those people in power and get the right people there, they won't be able to do much. It's like you put them there, but you tie their hands because every other thing around them isn't working properly.
Through that, an example of that is, I think one Igbo lady like that, I think she was fighting with a lot of people. I can't remember her name now. Was she a minister?
That woman?
Yes. And
that
she was
is involved in like women affairs or something.
Or social, I can't remember.
Abike.
No, this is not Yoruba, babe.
One Igbo lady that was
She's
there.
slim, light-skinned like this.
Recent?
Maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
Natasha?
No, not Natasha. This babe is.
She was fighting with a lot of people, and she says that they want to have a meeting or they have a budget for an event. Maybe they say like 50 million or 100 million. And she's aware that maybe the event did not take place. And she's saying, return the money or something like that. Or we spent only half of this. We only spent maybe 50 million and we had a budget of 100 million. So return the other 50 million. And the people were like, this woman, normally this thing will go round.
So she was doing a lot of stuff like that. However,
they sent her.
They snuffed that babe out. They now said that she's collecting settlements.
They finished her.
Boom.
I felt so sorry for her because I knew what she was trying to do. But because
her
that
own
structure
POV was even. I'm not saying people should not eat, but let's
be decent about it. How can you tell me that this venue, that we know that this venue is maybe 5 million and you are telling me it's 30 million? Come on.
She's like, how bad?
If you say it's 7 million, okay, we can say take 2 million.
So sometimes they'll be in the middle of an event, like the event is happening, and when they've already started having events, is when they bring budget or something to her. She will go in the middle of the event and carry the mic, and she's like, if you people try this thing next time.
How can you people be telling me that this venue we are sitting in is 30 million when I know it is 5 million?
She causes the scene on the spot.
You know? So maybe she wasn't diplomatic enough, whatever that was. I could feel her sincerity, you know, that this is wrong. Just like you're saying that from the grassroots level, we have a fundamental problem.
Character issue.
You know, so I think that just like in America, where they took the Bible out of there, and I know that we are not just, out of the schools. See the problem it has caused. In Nigeria, I think we need to go back to that place where they begin to teach integrity, what do they call it?
If you meet an average Nigerian, what are their core values? Right?
We don't have it again, but when we were growing up, the Omoluabi concept in Yoruba land was that know the son or daughter of who you are, your family name is more respectable than any money, all those kind of things. You get it in your family from the home front. And then in some of the schools then, it was taught, you know, that this is honor, those kind of things. I don't think you can see. So I'm saying that if it's missing in the family setting, and it's missing in the schools, which is where people get their education from, and it's missing on social media, which is where a lot of people educate themselves these days, then it is totally missing because people don't have, again, we celebrate corruption.
And that's my point, because even now we keep saying it's the bottom of the barrel that's in politics. If the middle and the upper class at this point get into politics, they're going to do worse.
Let me give you an example.
Because the people that are stealing, the people that are waiting to steal this Nigerian money are more than the people that are already there stealing it. A lot of people now that they've seen, it's almost like these people open their eyes to what can be done and the craziness that can happen in that space.
This is it. And there was a time that we're like, oh, it's only old people in politics. Then they brought in a crop of young guys. What those young guys did in 2 years, it was worse than what the older generation had done in 4 years. I don't want to mention names. So, for me, I don't know. I don't know how we are going to get to
seems like such a
the solution is not to bring young people. We have to painstakingly check these people. We have to.
Age is not the only component.
Age is an important component. For example, if somebody has been running since the year I was born, and even now is ready to sabotage Nigeria's future because he still wants to run, that's literally an example of a fool at 40 is a fool forever, right? I people close me. I'm not mentioning any names now.
No.
Is there anybody you know that fits this description?
No.
So I'm safe. So yes, age is important, right? Nigerians must have. I'm going to ask you guys a very important question, but let me just finish this. Nigerians must have the idea and the vision that Nigeria is their project. Nigeria is theirs. You don't want your project to fail. You don't
That's
want...
what we call ownership in HR.
You need to own it. Yes, you need to own
Take
Nigeria.
ownership.
So anywhere you find yourself, you need to know that, if I act up, it might not be big it might not be grand, but in the sense of little drops of water, right? You are causing the system damage. You're causing a big problem to the system. So you have to understand that, okay, let me play my part. People don't even understand. I'm going to that question. I'm going to that question very soon. But people don't understand that the little corruption you play is why the country keeps spoiling and why corruption needs to continue. I've seen different types of people in politics. I've seen those who are very wealthy. They're from a wealthy home and they have successful businesses, so they can spend. Now, this one is not they got their money from politics. They can spend. And then they are against those who got their money from politics, who stole the money, and they are ready to match the spending. Now, someone who worked for their money, no matter how wealthy they are, they wouldn't just bring out 300 million for the sake of it.
That's it.
They can bring out 600.
Yes.
But they rather bring out 50 million.
Yeah,
and then the
for
person
an investment
who stole,
or something.
the person who stole ready to bring out that 300, even add extra.
Yes.
And sway the people. So once people know that, okay, corruption costs more, because if this person who stole this money is ready to get this deal for 350 million, when he enters there, he's going to collect times 10. And that affects your future. So go with the person who will not even give you anything at all. Right? That's difficult. Yes. But it's the reality of things.
Because I wanted to say now, let's be realistic.
No, it's difficult, but it's the reality of things.
What we have on ground,
it's the reality of things. You will say, I won't eat for 1 week, I won't eat for... If kidnappers carry, would you eat at all? And that's the reality of what we are facing, right? So the question I'm going to ask now is this, and I think I want to get views. Maybe this is the first episode you guys will break the fourth wall. Do you know what that means? So basically you speak after, behind the camera, right? It can involve characters outside, but it's not necessary. Permit me to mention names. I don't know how to do this without mentioning names. And I even want on the comment section, right? I want answers. If Peter Obi is not on the ballot in 2027, would you come out to vote?
No.
Okay. No, I want very honest answers. How about you? So this Gen Z.
Yes. Now let me tell you the experience I had with you.
But I'm very sure that you guys have the same this thing. No. Okay, so what
Gen
about
Z,
you? Would you come out to vote if Peter Obi is not on the ballot?
You see,
First ask if she supports Peter Obi.
So personally, I will tell you the truth.
So if your preferred candidate, I'm saying Peter Obi for a reason.
Do you know why?
If your preferred candidate is on
where
the
I'm
ballot,
at right now, I don't have any preferred candidate. I'm heartbroken and disappointed. So I don't even know who to follow.
Understandable.
That's the honest truth. I can't say I can't. There's no trust.
And that's even more important for this, my question. Why is that?
The trust has been broken.
You've had series of heartbreaks in terms of leadership. So when you eventually find that one person, you will most likely be really connected to this person. Like, because I've not chosen anybody all these years and I choose you, there is that connection. Now let's imagine that person now is not on the ballot 2027. Maybe next month, after going through all the available options, you get attached to someone and then election time, the person is not on the ballot. Would you come out to vote?
Well, if I get attached, because right now, having been in Nigeria for 50-something years, I'm not attached to anybody because I've seen the disappointments over and over again. You believe in this person, you think they're going to do something, and they get there. It's as if there's something on that seat that just breaks people.
That's actually where I'm going with this question. That's actually where I'm going.
Let's assume now.
For a millennial, is there any other millennial here? Please let me bring the fourth one. Is there any millennial here? If your favorite candidate is not on the ballot, would you come out to vote? I think the answer is no.
No.
All right. So here is my answer to that. And I think I might have to do a series of podcast explanations for this. If your preferred candidate is not on the ballot and you choose not to come out to vote, you are doing yourself a great disservice. First of all, the reason your preferred candidate, or let's say Peter Obi, might not be on the ballot 2027 is because of the NAS. This is just one of the many examples.
What's the NAS?
NAS, NAWS, the National Assembly.
Okay.
The people in the National Assembly, if we have our own people there, people who want the best for Nigeria, people who are always fighting for Nigeria, do you think right now it will be a discussion of let us transmit votes electronically? Do you think that will even be a discussion at all?
No, that should...
That's the point. Now, it is still a discussion because we have been focusing on just the president, just the governor, leaving out these important positions where if 2023, if we had said, okay, Peter Obi is on the ballot, young people, and I'm saying Peter Obi because a lot of young people came out to vote for him.
Yes.
And I say this because I had a team in across 8 states in Nigeria. We're doing people sensitization. So we had data. A lot of young people came out to vote for him. In fact, most young people came out to vote for him. But they were voting, Nigeria. So they will vote for Peter Obi and not vote for the others.
So what do they expect to happen?
So now I would blame it on the fact that they don't have enough knowledge. Now here is what I'm saying. If we had voted people into the National Assembly in 2023, and then we had good people in the Senate, in the House of
everywhere
Reps,
necessary.
first of all, we will be able to transmit votes electronically in 2027. That automatically means certain people cannot run. People who would have to rely on rigging, they would not waste their time running.
Our money. Because it's an investment.
Exactly. Because now the people know, okay, if my vote is going to be transmitted, my vote will count.
Yes.
Now, who are the people that I'm interested in? I don't know if you guys are getting where I'm going.
Yes, definitely.
So if you decide not to come out and vote because Peter Obi is not on the ballots, guess what? 2031 might not be any different.
So what's the bridge? We're getting to the bridge now.
So who would we now vote for? So if there's no opposition,
your focus this election should not be with this person be on the ballot or not. Whether the person is on the ballot or not, research the other candidates. Let there be a consensus amongst young people that, okay, across these levels, we are voting this thing. So whether or not Peter Obi is on the ballot. Now, they can say Peter Obi should not be on the ballot because they know voter apathy would happen. But when they know whether or not Peter Obi is on the ballot, people are coming out to vote. Who wins?
So the bridge, I would say, how do we close this gap? Not just the youths, because last election was crazy. The youths were all out. But this same mistake you said is what they did. They voted Peter Obi and they left the rest.
Or they did Labour Party top to bottom.
That's two options.
Without researching the candidates.
Yes. And then they were surprised that when Labour Party people entered, they started defecting. So.
We didn't do a character test.
So, what the bridge would be from you that we should always do what? Research the candidates.
Yeah.
We should vote not just for the presidency, every other position. Chena, your Labour Party story last year was, in fact, it was hellish.
Honestly, I don't know if we have enough time for that.
Quickly, wrap it up.
I got my voters card. I live in one estate. I was put in a completely different estate, about 30 to 40 minutes away from me as my polling unit. And I was still going to go vote, right? There's no movement on election day, so it's, pretty far walk, but I was still going to do it. I had a friend who had a press pass, so he said his estate is between mine and the other one. So he said, if you can get there, I'll take you to the other place. So I said, okay, no problem. Spoke to my dad about it. We said, all right, sounds like a plan. So I wake up in the morning, ready to vote, active. Mind you, I kept creating content about like the elections. Get your PVC. Every time I did anything like I had to do with the voting process, I was vlogging it, encouraging people. So I had even resigned not to vote initially. And then I posted it on my status and someone was like, oh, no, you have to. Then connected me with this person with the press pass. I didn't even know the person. So it was a whole thing of like, you have to go vote. And this is the first time I was voting, by the way. So it was a big deal for me. And then my mother wakes up and hears that I'm going to walk all the way or something to vote. She said, what do you mean? I said, I'm going to vote. What else does it mean? She first started pacing around the house and no. Then she speaks to her friend on the phone. And that her friend anyways. She speaks to her friend on the phone. And that friend was like, has she left the house yet? She said, no. She said, don't let her leave the house. It was as if they give my mommy fire. My mother brings out that Omorogun, that pounding stick, that turning stick. Mommy brought it. She stood by the stairs and said, you're not going anywhere. I'm not even joking. She pulls the wig off my head and is dragging me. Yeah, no.
So how did I get there?
I understand where your mom is coming from.
So let me ask you a question. How come NSAS?
Same thing with NSAS. My mom was like,
how come the day that they killed those innocent children, how come the children of the rich were not there on that day? Information. See, I've been in Nigerian politics, well, behind the scenes, because my parents, both of them are politicians.
Yeah.
So I know how it works. And I say this, unfortunately, I said, look, this thing is not worth dying for. Because you see, it will just be a mention. May the soul of those young children and everybody that died at NSAS rest in peace. It breaks my heart again and again. But guess what? The children of the rich people were not there on that day. Everybody kept their children in the house. They had information, which is why I told my daughter, I have only one daughter. Please, I beg you. Nigeria will not happen to me and my family. Please stay in the house.
But the truth of the matter is,
I have one daughter.
No, Ma. Let me now be sincere, because let me tell you something a lot of people don't know. I have paid ransom multiple times. The people that I paid ransom for, none of them was hoping Nigeria happens to them. So whether we like it or not, we have gotten to a stage where we have to take it by force.
Eromz, I'll send my daughter out of the country if it reaches that stage. I have one daughter, Eromz. Over the years, I have seen...
let me tell you, that would be worse. So.
It's okay.
Do you know people I know that secretly came back to Nigeria to vote? Their parents did not know. God forbid
that's what she did to me.
Let me tell
God forbid anything happens to them.
That's what she did to me.
You will think your daughter is in UK. Your daughter is in UK. You will just see
I went out to vote that day 2 years later. I jumped over the fence and trekked all the way. I walked 13,000 kilometers to get to my polling unit. She didn't know.
Ma,
so what I'm saying, see, let me tell you, what I'm saying is that because I've been behind the political scene since 79, I have seen how people have died needlessly,
and you are not wrong.
So I have made up my mind, and God is my witness.
Yeah.
Me and my family will not be victims of Nigeria in Jesus' name.
And that brings us back to what we're saying in the beginning.
For me, the bridge is this.
Yes.
I have gone out to get my voter's card.
Okay, so you drive right now to the estate.
So now I'm ensuring that she'll be in the estate. Do you get it? So I'm not saying that.
But what if they transfer to even Ikeja?
No, God forbid.
So the thing is, we need to be willing
my children or my life for
but I think
because these people now it's like a chess game.
It might be. I think you also think it's not worth it because you believe our votes don't count. On the surface of
it. And guess what?
Yes.
You can imagine all that.
When she found out I now voted like 2 years later that I actually went that day, I did all of that. So when I saw her, I was like, I actually went to vote that day. She was like, so what happened to your candidate?
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is,
what happened to your candidate?
It's a good thing she came out.
Risk your...
If she didn't come out, if she didn't do all that, the candidate would have lost.
So did you...
Even in the rigged this thing, because she said that she was speaking for Peter Obi, so I believe Peter Obi was a candidate.
He won in Lagos.
600k to 400k.
My vote counted, babe.
No, I'm saying even PDP chieftaincy has come out to say it multiple times. Other people have come out to say multiple times that in the original result, he got over 1 million plus.
So
votes.
who is in leadership?
So even in the rigging, wait, listen to me.
The more people that
even in the rigging, he still didn't lose.
Let me tell you,
so there's a number we must get to that even when they want to rig, they still cannot win.
I understand that. But my point is,
maybe because mommy, I think I'm on her side because of my history. I mean, I went to multiple prisons.
He was locked up multiple times for Nigeria. And I feel like everybody has to be willing to do
so. Go to that prison alone. Because you see this young woman, she's not going to prison.
No, I'll always support people that are ready to do something for Nigeria.
I'm ready to do something for Nigeria, which is why I started the NGO.
Mommy, would you be willing to lose your life for Nigeria?
God forbid.
I would lose my life over and again for Nigeria.
But then again,
in
Jesus' name, I will not.
There's something that just came to my mind. There's something that just came to my mind because I think you were talking about it earlier. She said, when she saves money, she's only able to reward herself with food. Let me surprise you. When I was in secondary school, there was a plan to go to Paris, to and fro. plus plane tickets, everything for my secondary school. It was kind of a tuition school then. And it was for 600k. How old am I now? How old was I then? 600k I don't even think you can even get you
about. So
that is the point. So the money we're making then, right?
You could see. I've gone to London with 50k.
Exactly. So you could see a lot of benefits. Now, if the young people are saying, with this 50k, I can't even buy a decent meal in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Let me fight for my country to ensure that the time comes when I can actually enjoy my money.
This young woman has been going to London since age 2.
She wants to be able to go to London on her money with 100,000. Yes, that's the point.
She has money in her account. And then
she would have been doing like this.
I'm coming back from the UK in Penury.
It's Ijebu that is doing her. So for me, sincerely, the bridge would be that everybody should come out. This is not just your generation, not just everybody should come out for the next coming election. Mm-hmm. And we should not just come out blindly. Let's do research on the candidates.
Yeah.
And what do you think that these people can bring to the table? And don't just vote because I just want the president or it's just the governor.
One particular party.
Let's start from the local government level. Find out what is happening.
Also be involved in the primaries as well.
Yes.
If you are in a political party, be involved in your primary so that the person you even want will actually end up on the ballot.
Yes.
I tell you, a lot of young people are not in political parties yet.
They're not. And I don't know how many English. I started doing broadcasts.
Maybe until bread comes to 50,000.
I'm telling you, I started doing broadcasts of like people.
I have made up my mind that this forthcoming election, by God's grace, I want to now sensitize my friends in my age grade people to say, you know what, we've sat on the fence for too long. Let's help this younger generation. Okay?
But my thing, so
let's
my bridge.
Go and vote.
Great.
First of all, where is your card? Because most of us, we don't have. You see that day is a Netflix and chill day for us. I'm not even joking.
Actually, the time you rest.
Yes. It's a Netflix and chill day. So let's go get our voters card. Let's make up our mind. Let's do the necessary research. Let's bring in people that we know can represent moving Nigeria. I don't care wherever they are from or whatever. Does this person love Nigeria? Does this person have the interest of Nigeria at heart? If that is yes, then vote for that person. Do you believe in the ideology? Vote for that person. And please, let's move this country forward. And it involves all of us, all across the generations.
Regardless of how the risk you want to take to go out and vote.
And so that's my bridge.
You must be supported.
Exactly.
With the risk
My bridge is that if we are saying we're voting, we need to come out, we need to get our cards. Why? Because we love Nigeria and we want Nigeria to move forward. We know that there's an opposition that doesn't want us to move Nigeria forward. They don't want us to vote.
Can I say that opposition is in different political parties?
Yeah, for sure.
Class system.
Hear me now. So my thing is, if we know that, and we are saying that, we're going to love Nigeria and vote and do all these things, but we draw the line as when it's going to be death or life and death. They will bring that life and death to you.
To your doorstep.
You know, we'll reach my side. They need to know.
Everybody a lot of people have been kidnapped also have angels on guard.
Exactly.
I will not fall into that category.
God,
there were many sick people in the Bible. I choose the healing.
God has said, it's not, God didn't say it, but God has given us this free will. And that free will includes voting.
So
if you decide not to use your free will and vote, not voting you now. I'm saying if Nigerians have decided to use...
Every Nigerian needs to go out there and be willing to vote no matter what is going to come up that polling station, no matter what's going to come of it. You need to be willing to go out and vote. Because if they think that is a thing of fear, like, life or death, they will bring the life and death.
Now you are going to vote in the estate. So we're going to show... You can't try me this year. I'm ready for you this year.
Okay, so you can actually. So for those of you who are like in this situation where your voting unit is far, you can change your polling unit. The site opens May 4th. cvr.inecnigeria.org. You can go there. I think it is lost or damaged. No. Transfer polling units. Yeah, you see the transfer polling unit. So you can click on transfer polling units and you transfer your PVC. However, there is a risk. If you transfer your polling unit, you can't use that voter's card again. So you have to wait for them to print another voter's card. If you are willing to do that, no problem. If you would rather Yeah, start on time. But if there's a possibility with what we are saying with INEC is not as independent as they should be. There's a possibility of voters card might not be printed. This is
so can you still use the old one?
So you can use the old one in the old polling units.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. But if the new one doesn't come out in time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No. If you can't, if you start that process, your old one kind of becomes invalid.
And then the new one will now come out.
Yeah, they'll take you out of the database.
So better go and start now because you are not leaving the estate this year or next year, wherever it is.
My own bridge.
And our polling booths in the estate, you know we are fresh.
My own bridge.
Chicken, there's everything.
My own bridge.
Okay, so your bridge has to wrap up.
My fellow Nigerians. The truth of the matter is Nigeria has gotten to a stage where we can't use smiling to fix things. We have to go toe to toe, right? A lot of people have Nigeria in their vicious grip and they wouldn't just let Nigeria go like that. So we should be aware of this. Don't say things like, oh, if my candidate is not on the ballot, I'm not going to vote. You're doing yourself. Literally, you're doing yourself. So there's a lot to be done. We have to take up our responsibilities as Nigerians. If you are watching this, you have data, you have a phone, you have influence. Only you can get 10 people to vote. Only you can get 10 people to get their PVC. And, talk about 10 times 1,000. That's 10,000. And those 10,000 get another 10. That's 100,000. And just like that, influence spreads. That's literally the secret we use at Abeno Foundation. That's my preach. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much. Get your PVC. Get ready to vote in the coming election.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Share the podcast. And see you in our next video. It's a wrap. Bye.